May the peace of the Lord be with you all. Today's Gospel Reflection, July 11, 2025, Friday. Israel set out with all that was his. When he arrived at Beersheba, he offered sacrifices to the God of his father Isaac. Their God, speaking to Israel in a vision by night, called, "Jacob, Jacob." He answered, "Here I am." Then he said, "I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make you a great nation. Not only will I go down to Egypt with you, I will also bring you back here, after Joseph has closed your eyes." So Jacob departed from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel put their father and their wives and children on the wagons that Pharaoh had sent for his transport. They took with them their livestock and the possessions they had acquired in the land of Canaan. Thus Jacob and all his descendants migrated to Egypt, his sons and his grandsons, his daughters and his granddaughters. All his descendants he took with him to Egypt. Israel had sent Judah ahead to Joseph, so that he might meet him in Goshen. On his arrival in the region of Goshen, Joseph hitched the horses to his chariot, and rode to meet his father Israel in Goshen. As soon as Joseph saw him, he flung himself on his neck, and wept a long time in his arms. And Israel said to Joseph, "At last I can die, now that I have seen for myself that Joseph is still alive." Responsorial Psalm. The salvation of the just comes from the Lord. Trust in the Lord and do good, that you may dwell in the land and be fed in security. Take delight in the Lord, and he will grant you your heart's requests. The salvation of the just comes from the Lord. The Lord watches over the lives of the wholehearted. Their inheritance lasts forever. They are not put to shame in an evil time. In days of famine they have plenty. The salvation of the just comes from the Lord. Turn from evil and do good, that you may abide forever. For the Lord loves what is right, and forsakes not his faithful ones. The salvation of the just comes from the Lord. The salvation of the just is from the Lord. He is their refuge in time of distress, and the Lord helps them and delivers them. He delivers them from the wicked and saves them, because they take refuge in him. The salvation of the just comes from the Lord. Jesus said to his apostles, "Behold, I am sending you like sheep in the midst of wolves. So be shrewd as serpents and simple as doves. But beware of men, for they will hand you over to courts, and scourge you in their synagogues. And you will be led before governors and kings for my sake, as a witness before them and the pagans. When they hand you over, do not worry about how you are to speak, or what you are to say. You will be given at that moment what you are to say. For it will not be you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brother will hand over brother to death, and the father his child. Children will rise up against parents and have them put to death. You will be hated by all because of my name, but whoever endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to another. Amen. I say to you, you will not finish the towns of Israel." These are the messages Jesus is telling us today. This world is often harsh, uncertain, and filled with opposition. It can be daunting to stand firm in your convictions, especially when those convictions are rooted in faith. Yet, there is something profoundly courageous and powerful about choosing to live with integrity, compassion, and truth even when the world seems to push back. The message of Matthew 10:16-23 is a reminder that living a faithful life will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Imagine a young teacher in a public school who holds to deep values of kindness, integrity, and honesty. In a culture that often prioritizes results over character, she chooses to teach her students not just math or reading, but how to pray and how to treat others with respect. She doesn't preach, but her actions, gentle yet firm, fair yet compassionate, speak volumes. Some colleagues mock her idealism, others warn her not to rock the boat. Still, she continues. Her consistency, her quiet strength, is a light in a place that sometimes feels dark. Living a life of faith in today's world requires that same kind of courage. It's like walking through a city where you're expected to blend in, but you choose instead to stand out for truth, for love, for what is right. That decision can come with consequences, judgment from others, misunderstanding, and even hostility. But it also carries a deeper reward, an unshakable peace that comes from knowing you're not alone and you're living with purpose. There's a man who worked in finance, a field where ethical lines are often blurred for profit. He was offered a promotion on the condition that he overlook a shady deal. The temptation was real, more money, more power, more prestige, but he declined. Not because he was trying to be a hero, but because he knew it is not his character to do so. He refused to sacrifice his integrity. That decision cost him the job, but it didn't cost him his soul. The path of faith is not without risk. Sometimes it means you'll be misunderstood by your own family, criticized by your peers, or targeted by people who feel threatened by your convictions. But that shouldn't deter you. These are not signs that you're failing. They are often signs that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. We're not called to be reckless or naive. We're called to be wise, to recognize the challenges, to prepare for them, and still move forward. It's the same wisdom you'd see in someone navigating a storm. They don't ignore the wind and the rain. They adjust their sails, they hold the wheel tighter, but they keep going. And while the journey might be filled with difficulty, it is never walked alone. Strength comes in unexpected ways, such as a timely word from a friend, a moment of clarity, and an inner peace that defies explanation. There is a divine presence that goes with those who choose to stand for what's right, who choose to love when it's easier to hate, and to speak truth even when silence would be safer. Courage, in the spiritual sense, isn't loud or brash. It's the quiet determination to keep going, to keep loving, and to keep standing for Jesus no matter what. It's the woman who forgives someone who hurt her deeply, not because she forgets the pain, but because she refuses to let bitterness define her. It's the teenager who refuses to cheat on an exam even though everyone else is doing it. It's the leader who chooses justice over popularity, compassion over control. These are the heroes of faith. They are not always celebrated, but they are deeply significant. And in a world that often feels chaotic, they are the steady hands, the clear voices, the bright lights that guide others home. Always remember, your faithfulness today may be the very reason someone else finds their courage tomorrow.